Hi, I'm Dr. Patrick Anderson of Madison Max Living. There are literally thousands of articles and studies published every day. Finding the most pertinent and useful natural health information can be a daunting task. It's easy to be overwhelmed with the volume of information and difficult to know what to do next. On Max Living, we'll filter these articles and studies to bring you and your family the best natural healthcare news. Join co-host Stacy Hansen and myself coming up next.
Welcome to Max Living with Dr. Patrick Anderson. We have some natural health care news for you. And Dr. Pat, I have an article here that's talking about using vinegar. Now, I know I use vinegar as a cleaner in the home, but this is specifically talking about laundry. And they say that it's a must-have for your laundry routine. What's interesting is most of these are just adding it to the final rinse cycle. So easy peasy, because there's not a lot to remember here, but it can substitute as a fabric softener of all things. So get rid of those dryer sheets, right?
There's a lot of chemicals on there that are not very good for you.
Right, and this is, it says just add half a cup to the final rinse cycle of your machine. Static reducer, especially need that this time of year. Add half a cup to the final rinse cycle. Now that's helpful for you pet owners out there. I know for me too. I've got those dog hairs that just like to cling even through the wash cycle. Eliminating soap residue. So soap residue builds up on our towels and they aren't as soft and fluffy and as absorbent either. Add a cup of white vinegar to the rinse cycle. Love this. So easy, and vinegar is so affordable.
It's great.
Here, if you've got bigger things like towels and blankets, they're saying add 2 cups, so that makes sense. And it says that your towels will be softer and fluffier than they have been in a long time. You don't need to buy new towels, just get a bottle of vinegar. Here again, talking about keeping lint and pet hair from clinging to your fabrics. Half a cup of vinegar to the rinse cycle. How about whitening whites? I think of bleach right away, right? And they're saying vinegar can do that too. So add 1.5 cups of vinegar to the final rinse cycle to whiten your whites. Very interesting.
Much healthier than having the bleach.
The bleach, yeah, definitely. Spot treating. I thought this was interesting. Keep a little bottle of undiluted white vinegar in your laundry room, and you can pre-treat stains like coffee, wine, soda, chocolate. So you just squirt it on there, kind of saturate it, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then launder as per usual. Now odors, works on that too. It just goes on and on. Vinegar is great for eliminating funky odors. It even works on smoke or mildew smells. You can add 1 cup of white vinegar to the rinse cycle. And this one is the only time that it really talks about using vinegar ahead of the rinse cycle. And this is if you've got something new and you don't want it to bleed. So the red shirt and the whites get mingled in, pretty soon you have pink socks all over them, right? So it says that if you have 1 part vinegar and 1 part water and you soak your new item for 20 minutes, it makes it color fast.
Really?
So it doesn't bleed.
Oh.
That could be helpful. Or just keeping it probably looking newer longer, right? And for your delicate items and swimsuits, this is just a little like sink wash thing. You just, it says 1/4 cup of vinegar to some lukewarm water in your sink and dunk your delicates in there for 15 to 30 minutes and then just rinse them out. I think the last one's pretty important, and that's your washing machine. Because all the soap and all the washes, it starts to build up on the machine, the barrel, the dispensers, the hoses. And instead of calling the Maytag guy, get your vinegar out. Add a cup of vinegar to an empty washing machine and just run it through its normal wash cycle. And do it about once a month.
That makes a lot of sense to clean the wash machine.
I've
It
actually
does just about everything except maybe fix a clogged lint in the vent.
now
or,
if it would only like fold and sort and put everything away for you.
Wouldn't that be awesome if it did that too? Vinegar
Yeah.
has so many uses, it's just a must-have. I actually use white vinegar as a weed killer in my house, around my house.
Do you?
So I didn't
haven't-
want to use Roundup anymore with the glyphosate in it,
Yeah.
and its issues with that.
And I use it to get the lime off of my sink and the fixtures and the tub, and it's so easy.
Yeah, and it's inexpensive. You can buy it for $1 or $2 for a gallon.
Vinegar fixes everything. We have more natural health care news for you right after this. Welcome back to Max Living, where we have natural health care news for you. And Dr. Pat, I see you have an article there on the 13 healthiest root vegetables. And I'm already seeing what number 1 is, and it's not what I would have guessed.
Yeah, this is fascinating because when you want to eat healthy and eat natural, what you end up doing is finding a lot of foods you never thought you'd ever try. So some of these names may spark an interest in you to try these and find a way to use it, whether it's in a soup or a sauté.
That always
or
helps.
a stir fry. Here's the 13 healthiest root vegetables to add to your diet. Number 1, onions.
Now wait, are these ranked in the healthiest or?
No, just 13.
Okay, all right. Onions.
They're high in fiber, vitamin C, and antioxidants. A wide variety of health benefits. Onions may reduce blood sugar levels and reduce certain cancer risks.
Does it say if they have to be raw or cooked? It just can be.
No, it doesn't say.
Okay. Because I know I can't really handle those raw, but I'm okay if they're sautéed.
It doesn't really say. I think there's benefits to both ways. Although, like tomatoes, releases its lycopene when it is cooked.
So that one you do want to
So
cook.
yeah, the tomatoes are better cooked. They're still good without it, but it's better. Sweet potatoes, huge amounts of fiber, vitamin C, manganese, vitamin A, and antioxidants. You'll see that time and time again. Summary: sweet potatoes help improve blood sugar control and are high in vitamin A, which may preserve vision and improve immunity and skin health.
I feel like sweet potatoes are so easy too. I have a little crock pot. I just throw that thing in there, some water, and walk away.
Yeah.
Come back at the end of the day and it's all ready. So easy.
Next one is turnips. It's a root vegetable and it's been cultivated for centuries. Lots of vitamin C, fiber, manganese, and potassium. It boosts immunity and shortens the severity of respiratory infections such as the common cold. In the studies, these are all study-based. So turnips, summary, are high in immune-boosting vitamin C and considered a root as well as a cruciferous vegetable. Eating it may be associated with a lower risk of certain types of cancers. Here's one of my favorite, ginger. It's a flowering plant from China. It's closely related to other root vegetables like turmeric, loaded again, antioxidants. And a study of 1,278 pregnant women found that ginger was effective at reducing nausea and morning sickness.
Oh, I bet there's
So
lots
if
of
you're
women.
going on a cruise too, you can always take some ginger as a help. Ginger is rich in antioxidants. It can help reduce nausea, decrease pain, and it's a powerful anti-inflammatory. So you can buy ginger in the store, and I just recommend dicing up, throw it in your sautéed veggies.
Also easy.
Beets are highly rated, high in nitrates, and that helps dilate blood vessels, lowering blood pressure, improving heart health. So beets are getting a lot of press these days about being so heart healthy.
I feel like they're getting more popular right now.
This is a unique taste. Garlic, root vegetable, it's well known for its medicinal properties. Studies show that it promotes heart health, lower blood pressure, and lowers cholesterol and triglycerides.
Also known for some funky breath. How much of
Yeah.
it do you have to have?
It doesn't say exactly, as much as you like. I figure if you're going to have it, you might as well go for it.
Go for it. You and your date, right?
Yeah, make sure you're both having it. Radishes, they're small, but they pack a punch. Radishes contain a good amount of fiber and vitamin C, and they have antifungal properties, and that could help protect against stomach cancers, according to animal and lab tests. Fennel is a licorice-like flavor, and it's shown to be helpful. It has the compound anethole, which is shown to reduce blood sugar and block the growth of bacteria. So
that's
nature
interesting.
provides so much. Most of these have antibacterial, antifungal properties, antioxidant properties, nutritional properties, anti-cancer properties. It's hard to go wrong.
It is.
With these. Carrots, charts list the chart, tops the chart as being very effective. High in beta carotene may be tied to a lower risk of vision problems and certain types of cancer. Lower cholesterol and improved antioxidant status. Celeriac. I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
And it's a branch, it's a type of celery, but this is one is grown for its root. And it's high in vitamin K, which is necessary for blood clotting. Turmeric.
Squeak these last three out.
Root vegetable. And turmeric, of course, we hear a lot about it.
Yeah.
It's associated with a long list of benefits, joint pain help, blood sugar levels, and depression. Potatoes, they're actually quite helpful in many ways. Many people avoid them because they're in too much oil. But potatoes can be good to balance acid-base balance in the body. And lastly, rutabaga, high in fiber and help prevent against cancer and oxidative stress. So add some root vegetables to your life.
Rounding it out with rutabaga. We'll be right back with more. Welcome back. You're watching Max Living with Dr. Patrick Anderson, and we have natural healthcare news for you. Dr. Pat, I'm loving this article I have here. It's about how music can help people with Alzheimer's disease. I've heard of this before, and this has got lots of great ideas. So if you've got someone in your life that's struggling with Alzheimer's, they're saying here that music memories are often preserved in Alzheimer's disease because key brain areas linked to musical memory are usually undamaged by the disease. So playing music for your loved one can relieve stress, it can reduce anxiety and depression, and reduce agitation. Little side benefit, that can actually help the caregiver too, because we know that that's a really tough position to be the caregiver for those folks. So they have some great tips to think about. They say to consider your loved one's preferences. What kind of music did they like back in their day, their heyday, I guess. And obviously you're hoping for music that evokes memories of happy times. They say you can use the music to set the mood. So if you're looking to calm a situation, you can choose music that will bring that sort of mood. Or if you'd like to boost their energy a little bit, choose something that's a little bit more of a toe tapper for them. They do suggest avoiding overstimulation, so avoiding competing noises like the television or maybe the washer or something like that. Also can use the music to encourage movement, so they can tap their feet, clap their hands, maybe even dance to the music and get them moving.
Motion is life.
Yep, just two more here. They say singing along can help enhance their mood and elevate their mood, and it can stimulate unique memories as well.
I can imagine that singing with your mother or your father would be pretty powerful for the child as well.
For both parties.
Because you feel like you can actually connect.
And then finally, just pay attention to what their response is. If it's working, keep doing it. If you get a negative response, try something else. What have you got there?
Effects of a single workout go far beyond the afterburn, says the scientist. Kevin Williams, PhD, assistant professor at UT Southwestern Medical Center Internal Medicine Department and author of a new molecular metabolism paper. He says, so when you work out, you refer to the afterburn where you're still burning calories, but he says there's something that changes in the brain and they want to do more studying on it. They call it a melanocortin system, which influences your body's metabolism. And it can cause, the brain cells then being wired this way from a workout can actually keep your metabolism in a stepped up basis for up to 2 days.
So the workout affects your brain and the brain affects your metabolism?
So there's a brain effect besides the metabolic effect of the workout.
I see.
And so there's certain type of neurons that are activated, POMC neurons, and the body simultaneously craves less food and burns more energy.
We need that this time of year. All of our holiday treats.
Yeah. And there's another type of a neuron that has the reverse effect of increasing your appetite and burns energy less effectively. So when we move our body, we are affecting our brain.
Not
so
just
in
our...
particular, the increased activity observed in the neurons persisted for 2 days after a single bout of exercise. And he thought one of the benefits of that was maybe not having guilt if you miss a day, because you may still have brain stimulation going on affecting your metabolism and your health.
Does it say what kind of exercise?
No, it didn't.
It doesn't say cardio or weightlifting, but
They all influence.
they all are good.
Yeah.
So just get moving.
Yes.
You'll feel better too. Alrighty, thank you, Dr. Pat. We'll be right back with more natural healthcare news for you. Welcome back. You're watching Max Living with Dr. Patrick Anderson, and we have natural health care news for you. Dr. Pat, once again, we're talking about sleep, and in this case, talking about children and sleep disorders specifically. According to NHS Digital in England, they are showing that sleep problems that were once affecting only middle-aged folks and the elderly are now being diagnosed even among babies and preschool children. For example, sleep apnea, nightmares, sleepwalking, insomnia, and more. So this is kind of a big deal. We know how crabby we can get without sleep and how it can affect our health, and imagine that on your little ones too. It says that sleep-related admissions among children younger than 16 years old has risen significantly over the past 10 years. They have lots of numbers here to kind of support that. And they have a few reasons they've outlined as kind of causes. One is that kids are getting more and more obese and having weight problems, and that can affect quality of sleep and the sleep apnea. Also, social media and screen time. So we've all heard about the blue light from our screens and how, if you're wondering exactly what it does, it says here it suppresses the productions of the hormones that are conducive to good sleep. So it gets harder and harder to fall asleep if you've been looking at your screen. Also, when both parents are working, it can disrupt children's bedtimes, and so that can interrupt their sleep. Also, excessive sugar and caffeinated drinks, don't give them that Coke at 8 o'clock at night, right? Can be responsible for sleep problems among kids.
There's certainly more sleep problems now by far than there used to be.
Yeah.
So there's a whole science of sleep hygiene that's good to look up.
Looks like you have an article on kids too.
I have one on chiropractic helps children with autism. That'll shock you to hear that.
Yeah, you don't usually hear those things together.
Yeah, this is recent research in the Journal of Pediatric, Maternal, and Family Health, reporting on a literature review of autistic children undergoing chiropractic care, reveals that chiropractic care may play an important role in managing children with autism. Dr. Matthew McCoy, a chiropractor, did the research, and he says it's reasonable to suggest that if you obstruct or damage the nerves exiting the spine, the result of the obstruction or damage can have far-reaching implications on the functioning of the body. Research is revealing that there is a relationship between abnormalities in the spine, the nervous system, and the brain. Basic science and clinical research shows that the proper development of the brain relies heavily on proper structure and movement of the spine. So when that spine is moving, it's stimulating the brain.
Now you're making me think of chiropractic care for newborns.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it
And
right away.
throughout life. It makes perfect sense when you think about it, Dr. McCoy says. Neurobehavioral disorders such as autism may be related to how the entire body communicates with the brain, and the most critical area for this is in the spine. So this was a research of over 200 children, 11 articles, and they took these children, and in addition to being diagnosed with autism, all the children reported on were examined by chiropractors and were found to have abnormal structural shifts in their spine. And these structural shifts led to obstruction of the nerves called vertebral subluxations, and they were treated. But listen to this. Following chiropractic care, the researchers reported a host of improved health outcomes, including more expressions of joy, better posture, increased spontaneity, fewer occurrences of violence, nightmares, sadness, and decreased hyperactivity. There were also reported improvements in bedwetting, ear infections, irritable bowel, improvement in behavioral issues, better school performance, and displays of improved social skills, speech, and communication. improvement in sensory and cognitive awareness, motor skills, visual memory, spatial orientation, auditory function, sensory stimulation, memory, and working memory were all noted to be improved in these studies. So, you know, I have a friend out in New Jersey who sees a lot of autistic kids, and he says to a T, the parents are telling him, this is the best thing we've done for our autistic spectrum child. So nerves matter in any disease.
Absolutely. That's quite a laundry list for a happier, healthier kid, which means happier and healthier parents too. All right. Thank you, Dr. Pat. We'll be right back.
Thank you for watching our show on Natural Healthcare News. After listening, I hope you are left with a sense of how amazing the human body is. By putting the latest studies to work in your lifestyle, you can absolutely drive better health. One of the best things you can do to drive better health for you and your family is to make sure you have a sound structure and nervous system. This means that a chiropractic checkup is essential for optimal health. Call 608-833-1282 for a checkup appointment today. For Max Living, I'm Dr. Patrick Anderson. Until next time, live well and God bless.
Have your questions for Dr. Pat answered on an episode of Maximize Living. Send your email to drpat@wi57.tv.